just want to do a video about Sebastian. A lot of people, like, I mean, I say this a lot, Sebastian is the best hero in the game. It's not particularly close, right? But every time I do, some people are like, oh, he's not that great. It's like, I think you're crazy. Like, I'm like, no, Sebastian really is that good. Like, there is no hero in the game who can do more to help your win rate than Sebastian, right? So he has this ability called Ode to Serenity, which removes all debuffs from the allied team and Conscious Shield that prevents debuffs from being applied for 15 times. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it is game changing. This is the most powerful ability in the game. And he also has this thing called Public Idol, which lets him start in combat with extra energy, so he can get this ability off that much quicker. He also has a Battle Song, which increases critical hit rate chance for allies, and Striking Solo, which allows him to do pure damage while the Battle Song's on if they get a critical hit, right? But this actually stacks with his Artifact buff, right, which adds critical hit to the whole team. So 8898, it's about 9k crit with his Battle Song up. That pretty much just doubles the critical hit chance of his buff. So he's pretty much buffing 18k crit. Right, compare that to Jet, who only buffs like 3k when he's maxed out. Right, yeah, Jet's constant, but this is a much better boost, and he can do a lot of damage with it. Right, so Sebastian, very useful, like in physical attacking games, but he's also the best hero in the game, even if you can't use the physical aspects of him, because there's so many heroes who have dangerous status effects, and Sebastian makes your chances of beating those heroes much easier, right? So let's just demonstrate here. Right, so Sebastian, right? We'll show you all the heroes which you want to use Sebastian against, right? So it's Krista. She can put marks on, like the watermarks, which, like I said, Sebastian can block those marks, which allows Lars to do extra damage. Lars can also put watermarks on and long duration stuns. So Sebastian is needed against twins because he protects against their status effects, their stuns, and their watermarks. Thea, she can silence. It lasts 3 seconds. With Mara, it lasts 9 seconds. Silence can be game breaking. So if they have Thea on the team, you do need Sebastian, because getting silence can be back breaking against most teams. Right, in the teams where silence isn't back breaking are usually physically attacking teams, in which case you want Sebastian for the crit support. So you always want Sebastian in those situations. Fox, she can stun, like her for ultimate, it can stun the main tank for 18 seconds with Mara Patron. It's 6 seconds normally, 18 seconds Mara. Like, she can pretty much stun lock the main tank of the enemy team. Right, she can also blind if you're a physical attacking team. Like, Sebastian will protect you from her blinds as well. But having your main tank stun for 18 seconds could definitely be backbreaking, so you need Sebastian against her. Kira, she can do a 4-second silence. Like, she can't patron with Mara, but again, silence, it's pretty backbreaking, right? Not quite as vital with her, but used to, again, Sebastian I do recommend for most teams going against. Isaac does a big one. Isaac has silence with his ult. He can get silence off a lot, especially against magic attacking teams. Right, and his silence lasts 4 seconds, but he can patron with Mara and make it last 12 seconds. Very backbreaking when that lands. And Vari can stun. He's probably not as vital as a lot of heroes. Like, you could probably survive Andvari stuns. Like, yes, he could patron with Mara, but I mean, they're not quite as backbreaking as some heroes, though it depends on who's in there with him. Orion, however, has very long duration stuns, so I definitely recommend Orion against Orion, because those stuns will kill you. Nebula, she doesn't have a whole lot of status effects, but she can drain energy. Sebastian blocks energy drain. Same with Astaroth. Not the biggest vital thing, but they do drain energy. Sebastian protects against that. You could probably survive them without Sebastian, but he does make those fights a bit easier. Zeri. So Zeri's a pretty bad tank already, but right, Sebastian blocks her taunt. Sebastian blocks her stuns. Right, her pain shield still works, but without taunt working, it's not that effective. So Sebastian shuts down the most relevant abilities for her. So the only thing that's really left is your Sheltering Sands, which is a pretty bad ability. So, right, Zeri's not something you should worry about, but Sebastian makes it easier. Ginger, I think, like I said, I don't think she has a lot. That actually doesn't have a lot. It's Leanne, sorry, that's one I want. Leanne is a big one. She has her passive charm ability, right? She can also charm with her ult. Right, she's one of the few heroes who can really strip off Ode to Serenity against certain teams, right? Especially she'll have Axel as a pet, right? Bubbles of Justice. Tries to redistribute physical and magic attack hits to other team members. This means pretty much makes all attacks AE hits, which means it's a lot easier to trigger Leanne's passive, so that can actually counter Sebastian, but you still need Sebastian against her. Because otherwise you'll be completely locked out, whereas it's only more of a soft lock with Sebastian. So you definitely need Sebastian against her. Dark Star, she has her control ability. She has stuns, right? She's not that good, but I mean, her control ability could be annoying, but again, Sebastian shuts that down, so you definitely, if for whatever reason you see Dark Star, you want Sebastian. Jorgen's a big one. Jorgen used to be the best hero in the game. Like, he was absolutely the best hero in the game. Then Sebastian came out, and then all of a sudden Jorgen is a much less good hero because Sebastian hard counters him. Right, he tries to block them gaining energy with his ult. He can also drain energy with his basic attack. He has another ability called Leper. Like, Sebastian blocks all of those. Right, so he does not do a lot other than magic damage and buffing magic attack. Chainmail and Blind, not that relevant. Same with Artemis. Blind's not that relevant unless you're in a physical attacking team, in which case you have Sebastian already, so not a big deal. Lilith has stuns. She's not that good of a hero. Like, you don't see her that much. You could probably beat her without Sebastian. It's more important to try to knock Lilith down. Peppy has all kind of lots of random status effects. You definitely want Sebastian against her. He has some debuffs. Like, Sebastian could be good against him. Not the most critical one, but Sebastian's not a bad against here. Memory loss, rune of suppression ability, Sebastian blocks those. I don't know what that's really, like, it block her tracker. Her tracker, like, she has that little tracking thing. Sebastian can block that. I don't think it's that critical. She's not a very good hero. Heidi can blind, otherwise not that relevant. Faceless can stun. Sebastian can block faceless stuns. Right, that could be relevant, especially against Kark, which is, you definitely need Sebastian against Kark. Right, so if Kark has Mara Patron, his stuns last 6 seconds, it's 2 seconds normally, like, right, and you can't, here's the thing about stuns, you can't dodge while stunned, so if you don't have Sebastian, your Kark game goes against, like, Dante and Aurora teams, or Heidi teams, becomes a lot better because they know it's a lot harder for them to buff that dodge, because while they're stunned, they can't dodge, which means they can't gain the extra energy, which means they can't buff the dodge, etc. So they just, like said, so Kark, you'll usually kill them if you allow him to stun your team. So Sebastian's a must against Kark. Satori is, like I said, he used to be a decent hero. So Sebastian neuters him completely. Like, Satori puts on Foxfire marks, and Sebastian's ult removes all the Foxfire marks and prevents them from being applied. So his ult will literally do nothing. I mean, literally nothing. Like, there's probably no hero who gets more wrecked by Sebastian than Satori. Right, Sebastian will block his debuff. Like, he has one that blocks, like, reduces status effects by 20%. Sebastian, definitely good against here. Same with Luther, he has an AE stun with his ults. Like, you definitely want Sebastian here, because Luther can quickly get out of hand if you allow him to stun you. And again, he can page his Mara and make that last longer. But yeah, so you definitely need Sebastian with all those heroes, against all those heroes. Like, and again, it's just, there's so many status effects, like, and it's rare you'll see a team that isn't using, like, at least one of those heroes, right? So Sebastian, right, he's that important. Like, he's literally the best hero in the game, because you can't, it's really, like I said, there's just not a hero who will help your win rate more than Sebastian, because he greatly improves your matchups against all the heroes I just named, as well as being really good in attacking with physical attackers. Like I said, we had a Guild War fight a few weeks ago where Sebastian ended up doing over 4 million damage, largely thanks to the pure damage he does with Battle Song. So again, don't discount Sebastian's physical prowess either. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video informative. Thank you for watching.